Hi, my name is Daya Azara binti Awang. For part 1, group the data first into the classes and then calculate the relative frequency and cumulative relative frequency for each class. For data number of visit, we choose the smaller number and the largest number to make the group. So, we have a 7 group and the total frequency is 30. For group number 1, number of visit is 20 to 24. The midpoint is 22. How do we get 22? 20 plus 24 divided 2 equal 22. Next, the relative frequency for group 1, 3 divided 30 and we get 10% and so on for the next group. For the cumulative relative frequency, we get 10% and for second group number of visit is 25 to 29. The cumulative relative frequency is 10% plus 3.3% equal 13.3% and so on. Here are the frequency and relative frequency histogram for the number of visit. That's the only difference is the y-axis scale. Here is a polygon for the number of the visit. For data number of purchase order, we choose the smaller number and the largest number to make the group. So, we still get 7 group and the number of frequency is also still 30. For group number 1, number of purchase order is 110 to 120. The midpoint is 115. Next, relative frequency for group 1, 5 divided 30 and we get 16.67% and so on for the next group. For the cumulative relative frequency, we get 16.67% and for second group number of purchase order is 130 to 140. The cumulative relative frequency is 16.67% plus 13.3% equal 30%. And so on. Here are the frequency and relative frequency histogram for the number of purchase order. That's the only difference is the y-axis scale. Here is a polygon for the number of purchase order. That's all from me. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Marcel Chinit and my metric number is YE22110025 and I will present for part 2, calculate and compare measure of central location between the two metrics. First, in measure of central location is mean. Mean is when we need to sum up all the value in the data and we have to divide it with the total of the value in the data. So based on the data sample that have given, that we need to find two website metric, which is first is traffic, the number of visits in million, and the second one is conversation, the number of purchase order that measure in million. So here I already show how to calculate and how to get the mean of each metric. The mean of for the first metric is traffic, the number of visits is 37.71 million of visits, and the second is the mean for the conversation. The number of purchase order is 166.22 million of purchase order. Second, in measure of central location is median. Median is the middle number of the data. But if there are two middle number in the data, we need to sum that number and we have to divide it by 2. So for this data, I already arranged all the number from the data from decreased number to increased number of each website metric, traffic and conversation. For traffic, the number of visits, the middle number is 34.1 million and 34.9 million. So I sum that number and divide it by 2 and I get the median for the number of visits is 34.5 million. Second is conversation. The number of purchase order, the middle number on the data is 163.3 million and 164.5 million. So I sum this number and I divide it by 2. So the median for conversation, the number of purchase order is 163.9 million of purchase order. Last but not least, in measure of central location is mode. Mode is the most frequent amount or value in data. So from this data, the first metric is traffic, the number of visits in millions. In measure in million is 34.1 in million. But for the conversation, the number of purchase order that measure in million, there have no mode.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I'm Sumarni. So today I will present percentile and box plot for 30 e-commerce website in Malaysia. Box plot is used to display the data summary of minimum and maximum value, median, 25th percentile and 75th percentile. To find the minimum value, maximum value and median, first we need to arrange the sample in ascending order as shown in the table. So the number of visits is X and the number of purchase order is Y. So the minimum value of X is 23, maximum value is 54.2, while the minimum value of Y is 116.5 and maximum value is 231.9. So as the number of observation is even, we use the average to middle value to find the median. And the median for X is 34.5, while median for Y is 163.9. Next, we find the 25th percentile and 75th percentile by using the shown formula. So position for 25th percentile is 7.75, which located between 7 and 8 position, and for 75th percentile is 23.25, which located between 23rd and 24th position. So the first quartile for X is 31.95 and third quartile is 45.43, while first quartile for Y is 140 and third quartile for Y is 197.55. Next, we check if this sample have outliers by using the given formula, and after calculation we conclude there is no outliers because sample X and Y is within range. From all gathered data, we can now construct box plot X and Y. From box plot X, we can see that the minimum number of visits at e-commerce website by customer is 23 million times and the maximum number is 54.2 million with the average of 34.5 million visits. 31.95 million and 45.43 million both represent the 25% and 75% of customers that visit the e-commerce website. From box plot Y, we can see that the minimum number of purchase order by customer is 116.5 million and the maximum number is 231.9 million with the average of 163.9 million purchase order. 140 million and 197.55 million both represent the 25% and 75% number of customers that purchase order from the e-commerce website. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nora Shikin binti Sarali, and today I will explain part 4, calculate and compare of dispersion between the two metrics. Okay, for the first step, we need to find the range, which is maximum value minus minimum value. Firstly, we need to find range for number of purchase orders. And the biggest number for the maximum value for the number of purchase order is 231.90. And the minimum value for the purchase order is 11650. And the answer is 115.40. Next, range for number of visits. The maximum value is 54.2 and the minimum value is 23.0 and the answer 31.2. Okay, for the next step, we need to find mean from number of visits and mean from number of purchase order. Collect all number of visits and divide by 30. Also, number of purchase order divide by 30. How we find 30 is from data e-commerce website. We have 30 types and divide with that 30. And the answer for number of visit is 37.71 and number of purchase order is 166.82. We need to find the variance of number of visits and variance number of purchase order. How to find the number of variance is from the data e-commerce and then minus by the mean we get before this. And the answer for number of visits 7.448 and the answer for number of purchase order 25.66. Okay, next we need to find the population variance, which is use this formula. The formula is sum of and X refer to each value and the symbol of aim is population mean and divide by number of values in the population. And the answer from number of visits is 68.6 and the answer for number of purchase order is 138.53. Okay, for the last calculation, we need to find the standard deviation, which is the formula same goes with before, but this one we need to divide by n minus 1, which is the answer is 29. Okay, for number of visits, divide by 29 is 70.6, and per square 2 is 5035.30. And the answer for number of purchase order is 143.30. Square 2, the answer is 20534.89. Thank you.